Okay, everyone. Next, I'd like to introduce Keyla Rosas, IT and Security Compliance Senior Specialist, and Andreu Sancho, Cyber Security Senior Specialist, both from Nestlé, who are going to talk to you here this afternoon. If I hand over to you, you'd like to take the stage.
Okay. Hello? Okay, it works. Hello, everyone. I am Keyla Rosas, IT Risk and Compliance Senior Specialist at Nestlé. And I'm here with Andreu. We're going to talk to you about, firstly, security in AI, how we are currently having efforts towards secure usage of this type of technology in the company. And then we're going to go into more technical side of things with Andreu. That is going to be, for sure, more fun for some of you. OK, so I'm just going to take this. I just left here so we can enter into the matters. I belong to the compliance team. So the first thing that I would like to introduce you is to the things that we do in my team, so we can have an understanding on the lens where I'm going to place the information that I'm going to share with you today. My team, it is the IT compliance management team within Nestlé. And we are in charge of the life cycle of all documentation, IT documentation within the company. This means policies, procedures, best practices, and also ensuring compliance with legislations, regulations that might be applicable for our activities within the company. This is made in very close proximity with the legal team, of course, very important. And other thing that we do as well in our team is participate in initiatives to improve our ISMS, which is our Information Security Management System within the company. So apart from that, this is like a very high-level description of what we do. Within this umbrella, we have PCI DSS, privacy-related matters. We have specialists working on security annex with contracts and many other things compliance-related. So just so you get an idea of where I'm coming from and the type of knowledge I can share with you today. So just going a little bit into the sense of what the company is before entering in the whole topic of AI. So we get a little understanding on the dimensions of the company and what it represents in terms of very quick, high-level numbers. So we are talking about 150 years of history. And so it's been here quite a long time, right? And around 2,000 brands, which we can say it easy, but I don't know, on the top of my head, I'm thinking Nescafé, Dolce Gusto, Kit Kat, Buitoni, and I don't know, maybe we can put our brains together and get to 20 of those. So I would think 2,000 brands, so it's quite a lot. And 188 countries where Nestlé is present in the world, so also big presence, and around 270,000 employees in the company. So I hope with that we can get an idea of the dimension of the company, and many of you can also understand the challenges that come with this in terms of security of any kind of thing we can imagine. So just so we get the sense of any kind of challenges we might have or any kind of information we're going to bring to you today. I'm going to add a little dimension to this. So this is the famous AI topic that everybody is talking about. And I didn't want to have the classic AI logo with the devil near it, because I think we can agree that if we are getting into this mess of the AI and the whole deal is because it's bringing something valuable for the companies. So just wanted to start with the positive first and what the AI can bring us as a company, what can be interested to explore as a company with now this new technology. So I'm going to highlight 3 very key points and maybe the most obvious ones, but of course this list can be rearranged and regrouped in many ways depending on what we want to achieve with it. Nestlé is a company that produces goods to consumers, right? So we have a line of production, we have fabrics, we have distribution lines, we have also online marketing, online sales as well. So thinking on the consumer perspective, which is something that the company is very keen of, the satisfaction of the consumer, we can use and leverage AI for understanding market trends, for example, consumer preference, go quicker and faster in terms of producing new kind of product that the consumer might be interested in. So this is something that we can explore. Then we have the data management side of things. So I thought about the size of Nestlé, right? The numbers we just saw before. And thinking the volume of data, we were just talking about this before we enter here, the volume of data that we manage is huge. And of course, any technology that can bring some improvement to what we already have is worthy for exploration. So this is something that we can use for data quality, for improving the processing times of response in different sectors and topics that we might consider necessary in the company. And then I'm going to bring the last one just because selfishly is very important on my side, and it is the legal and regulatory matters, right? So I said 188 countries, so this is a lot of regulations and legislations that might be applicable to Nestlé in different activities, but talking just IT is huge. So if AI as a technology can bring to us the benefit of processing faster the amount of data that we have, tons of legal documentation, and even contract with vendors that sometimes it's also very high amount of relationship that we have with third parties. It is something to be also worth exploring. And thinking of that, on this latest topic, legal and regulatory requirements, which come close to home, and thinking AI, right? We have AI right now being, in terms of regulations and legislation, popping up in different parts of the world, in different speed, with different levels, with different sort of definitions. We have the European Union on one side. We have local artificial intelligence laws also coming up into the game. We have also not just to deal with countries, but in some cases like United States, which you have different regulations and legislations in different states. So we have to consider all that and bring all this information into knowledge, process it, digest it, and make it into something that is palpable within our company to understand how we can leverage this level of security that all these legislations and regulations are asking of us with this new type of technology that is sometimes a mystery, right, for the time being. So this is not a new challenge for us as compliance because, of course, we can think about, for example, privacy regulations. GDPR, for example, some years ago was the topic of the town, and everybody was concerned about the GDPR and this or that law that we needed to comply with and how we get into that and how to manage that. And we went through that and we did it, and now we have this new challenge in hand, maybe more complex one. Normally, our approach for this sort of task or challenge is to find, from the compliance perspective, a baseline that is going to be the one to be enforced within the company. This means bringing all this information that we're currently receiving from legislations, regulations, finding the common ground, and then having this implemented within the company. This means bringing into our policies, procedures, general activities within the company. So it can be the new way of working on the new level of security, right? This doesn't mean that it's a low level of security, but it is the one that is complying with the most amount of regulations and legislation around the world, where we have presence, of course. And then, of course, having prevailed those little, let's say, spaces, countries, regions where we have a more restrictive type of legislation. So our baseline is the one that is going to prevail unless we have something more restrictive, in which case, for this particular case, is going to be the law to follow, of course, because we need to be compliant. So this is the way where this is our approach, and this is what we are working for towards right now, is to balance all this information that is coming up, making this a baseline that is somehow stable, because right now, it's, as I said, information is flowing very quickly. So making this baseline stable and this to be transferred, of course, within the company. Sometimes it's also a challenge given that the regulations, legislations today sometimes have different definitions. The type of requirements may be, you can understand what they mean, but on the technical side of things, sometimes it's tricky to make it work, because if you are buying a component from a third party and this is something sort of a black box that you're getting, how you make sure that this type of components, or if we go into the side of development and things like this, to really ensure that this is something that is robust and is not going to produce to us any sort of vulnerability. So we are working towards that. This is, let's say, the big topic within compliance team, of course, at this time, but we also participate in other kind of initiatives above that, beyond that. We actually belong to something that is called Responsible AI Task Force, and this is something a group like grow spontaneously. We put this name the first time I think we gathered, and we stuck with it. And this is mainly a group of people within the company with very different background and all having this concern or these questions about new initiatives coming on within the company on the AI perspective, and how we can regulate that, and how we can make this secure in all the type of initiatives. Sometimes things are coming up as initiatives are even unimaginable. It's like, oh, I didn't think that we could use that technology for that particular case, but we can, so how we deal with that, right? So it is very helpful because we have people there from compliance, from legal, we have representation from markets, we have people from data analytics, from technical side. It's very wide and always growing. So the very important part is that we are gathering all these people. As you saw, the company the dimension is very, very big. So it's gathering all these people with all this background and different perspectives to ensure that this baseline I was talking about is proper, secure, and it is the one that we need right now to be. So one of the things, just to put a little bit of examples into the whole discussion, just using this figure that you see here, we have the AI systems, we have third-party components. So it is something that we are buying from a third party, right? And we are buying this off the shelf, for example, and use it within the company. So we have different things here. We have procurement, for example. We have operations involving this part where we need to ensure security. We're talking contract with vendors, for example. So in this particular case, just to give a practical example, that's something that we currently have in the company. We have, for the SaaS solutions, so any software as a service used within Nestlé, now is being tracked by a particular technology that allows us to detect if this SaaS solution is being in contact with any kind of AI technology. So of course, if we're buying something from a third party, sometimes it's not that transparent for us what's going on behind the scenes. So this way we can leverage that type of technology and understand what's going on, and if there is any AI-related technology connected to the SaaS solution. For develop in-house, so we have a team of developers within Nestlé that are working in different initiatives. And in this kind of AI system, we have other things to worry about, so in terms of design and development, and in this case, we have also some technologies that allow us to really contain the data, the access to the data, so the AI component can only access what is needed, no more, no less, and ensure that this is something that is an environment that we can control, that is not going to go outside and feed other models or anything that we don't want to do with that. And then on the hybrid scenario, then we are thinking we buy a component from a third party, and then we develop something in-house to adjust it to our needs. So we have the two sides of things, right? In this case, the side of integration, it is a big concern. So we have our enterprise architects already defined and approved a certain group of security components that is called the RAG, the Retrieval Augmented Generation Template. I think I said it right. This one is used for also ensuring that the AI components, the AI technology, is only accessing the type of data that we want in a particular situation for a particular type of solution. So again, looking into something more on the practical side, things that we already have in the company, and we have many others, of course, but in terms of time, I'm going to leave it there. Just going into something else that it is coming up within the company in terms of secure AI. We have within our ISMS, I just mentioned it in the first slide, our information security management system. We have, of course, the pool of risks that we currently have within the company on the IT perspective. And this is, of course, connected with our policies, with our procedures, which are generating controls to be addressing these sort of risks that we have within IT. And being tracked, of course, with metrics, so we can be sure that there is compliance with the policies, but also that the controls are being properly executed. So within all that structure that we already have, we are introducing first, within our risk framework, the concept of AI. So any sort of new risk or current risk that now has the AI dimension, bringing it to the table, so we have this enlarged or adjusted to involve or to have present the AI component, the AI risk. For example, if we talk awareness is something that is being here forever as a risk, right? Not having a user properly trained for a certain activity, but now it's bringing the AI component, decide that now we have this new technology and we need to make sure that users also are able to use it properly. And within that, we also created an AI risk assessment questionnaire that is mainly going to help us track all the initiatives that are coming in the company with AI components, and then categorize them in a level of risk. So of course, depending on the risk, we're going to have certain controls or other measures that we need to have in order to ensure that this sort of application or solution is working within our standards. And of course, this is something that we manage inside and created with the whole perspective of the different specialists that we have involved in this initiative. So this is something that we are currently having implemented in our tool. So it is also connected with our inventory of AI solutions, and that can start providing us this type of information for risk analysis. And just to close up with my part, overall view of other type of initiatives that we're having within the company to ensure secure AI. In the organizational structure, we are having roles and responsibilities introduced or modified in order to have, of course, this AI component also included. So mainly having a specialist for different type of technical background that can help us analyzing these type of solutions coming from the risks that we saw before, and then having these ensure that the initiatives are properly understood and they are being treated with the level of risk that they currently bring to the company. In terms of policies and processes, we have new policies or maybe current ones that are being adjusted also to include the AI component within the whole discussion. We also have the risk framework, which mentioned before. It is already updated, and we have new contract clauses also with vendors to ensure that any type of AI solution that is being brought to the company has also the contractual coverage that the company needs. In terms of tools and processes, we are adopting the Microsoft Responsible AI Toolkit for awareness and explainability. And in the sense of training and awareness, we, of course, are creating new modules within the yearly trainings for employees to ensure that everybody is understanding what the technology means, how to interact with it, and, of course, how to use the results that are coming from with it responsible use and with care, of course, because it is great technology, but we need to be careful of what we do with it, like with everything. So this is all on my side. I hope you find something of this of interest, and I'm going to leave you with the technical side of things, which are, as I said, way more fun. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Andreu, the data science guy. Okay. Mine will be, oops, now. We'll start with a game. Okay, you see these images right there. Let me put it here, better. Let me put it here. Okay, which are legit, which are fake? I will answer quickly. All are fake. Come from real cases, from site impersonations. So the level is quite high here. So what is brand impersonation? We'll speak a little bit of that and some tools we designed jointly with Keyla's team in order to address this, right? Okay, you know it's a form of attack in which the threat actor tries to impersonate in order to obtain some credentials or whatever it is, okay? And this is something that hurts a lot the reputation of the company, and especially here in Nestlé, we take a lot of care of this. So it's something that can hamper a lot, the trust in the brand. It's very important. So more things. Okay, what do we do? Well, it's a challenging problem because it's a manual, time-consuming. It requires checking a lot of information regarding logs for every brand. You see Keyla's numbers, huge number of brands, huge number of logs. So it's impractical. And there is even a large volume to cases and data to analyze. So for this, automating this brand impersonation is a hot topic in cybersecurity. And here, machine learning, a field inside the AI, fits very well as a safeguard. What is machine learning? Well, it's not nothing that what I put here in this example. It's a software, let's say software, that learns and improves from experience with respect to some task. Here is a simple example, okay, in which we got the data that we see here, the image, by the way, is a real case of impersonation. We see a model, which is the way we get in order to do the task, in this case, classify the image. In this case, we want to detect the task, which are Nestlé logos or not in a given image of arbitrary size, which is more difficult than it looks like, okay? And the performance measure is, for instance, the percentage of wanted logos detected. By the way, this is real cases and a real product. Here, what I want to show is that we can leverage this automation, okay, in that the machine learning offers three main pillars that are for problems that are too complex to manual guessing and codify. For instance, detecting a logo on an image of arbitrary size is a very, very difficult problem in terms of classic software engineering. Also, when we had huge amounts of data, we got a lot of brands, a lot of variations, a lot of logs. So it's complete madness here. And also, when we want to adapt to the threat landscape, because the attackers, when they see that their impersonation failed, they change, they evolve to something else more difficult. So what we have here is to consider also the interaction with external software, as Keyla was mentioning earlier, and also MLOps, okay? We want to productionalize. We don't want just a simple proof of concept. We are speaking here of an actual product. So we have to connect our model to the cyber threat intelligence feeds to help the model decide if it's an impersonation or not, is a threat actor or not. Also, some other cloud components, for instance, where is the cables where the secrets are stored, are they secure, are hardened, and so on, and also some security information that has to pass to a SOAR, for instance, or a SIEM, which the analyst at the end get the cases and, okay, analyze if the incident was really an incident or a false positive. And this is very important because we have to close the loop and improve the model using these relevant incidents. Remember, we got thousands of different possible incidents, but in which just a few percentage are really incidents. We want our model to attack these ones and discard the others. So instead of having 1,000 incidents per hour, get something more handleable, like 10, 12, something like this, which are really important. And also, remember that all this has to be analyzed by a proper expert in analyzing threat landscape. So they take this information, this incident in the SOAR, and say, okay, this was really an incident. You got this, this, this. Okay, the model was more or less correct. Or no, this is not. This is just, it happens that this name is very similar and the logo is very similar, so it failed, right? It's a false positive. So we get this loop, we close this loop, and we integrate this to improve the model. So the key point here is, okay, we got a model, and this model by itself, it does nothing. It's not useful. What is useful is these interactions with the different actors, in this case the analyst and the real-world data, and we train there and improve. And this is difficult. So just to show you a very briefly overview, we are getting right of time, of how it works. These are the two triggered by MLOps. Okay, so this product just gets online once per hour, analyzes the cybersecurity feeds, and checks the different domains that come trying to impersonate our brands. It stores this in a memory case and also runs the model for seeing if there is an image with a logo of our brands. If it is the case, it triggers an alert. Otherwise, it just discards the case. So at the end, we get a funnel in which we want only the important cases to be there. And this is automatically triggered. This is actual product, not a demo or a proof of concept or whatever. This is actually a product. Also, we got the training pipeline because we need to adapt to new attacks. So as the data is changing, what is called in machine learning a concept drift, we have to adapt to this. And we automatically, from when we decide this, we measure different KPIs. When we think that it's better to retrain a new model, we do this. And here is more or less the pipeline, which gets the information from the actual feeds, and also the labeling, the manual labeling done by the different analysts, cybersecurity analysts. So, and if this model after the training is better than the previous one, it gets to production. Otherwise, it's discarded because it's not that useful. And pretty much that's it. I hope it was of your interest. I think we can get some time for questions.
Yeah, I think so.
Quickly, I will sit.
Any question for us?
There, I think there. Question?
Yeah, they're going to give you a mic.
Hello, thank you for a great speech. I have an answer about the impact on the business. How do you calculate the ROI, return on investment, or maybe somehow in another way, how do you understand that these resources that spent on this project and this implementation will bring the value to the business, that you not just spend the resources and get the same results? Thank you.
Well, return of investment, if I get, it's funny because I am here, but I almost cannot hear you. You mean when having a new solution or something like initiative within the company, right? And how we, okay, yes, there are business cases for that. So mainly any kind of market or a particular area within the company that have an interest in having something new bring to the table because it's going to provide a certain benefit, production time, maybe faster results or whatever it is, or better consumer experience. This is like a big one. In all cases, there is like a business case and something that has to be presented and analyzed by different specialists to understand, as you say, the cost benefits of any kind of initiative that has been there. Also, there are sponsors for it in case it is something like it's on a global side or a particular market where you get, you know, if you get this sort of backing up, it means that it's something that there is a real need for it, and then the matter is just how you implement it, how you create it in the secure way, so it is also something that is not going to bring some troubles. We have many set of controls, security controls within the company that are ensuring that this all goes through the pipeline and it's properly secure and it's having the best standards for security. So in that sense, we are covered, and in the sense of return of investment, of course, it is more on the monetary side maybe of things, also seeing if this is something that is going to bring a real benefit. Somebody else? I think, 4 seconds? No? Okay, thank you so much for listening, and hope you got something interesting from it.